Matt Gaetz is making a name for himself as an anti-war legislator. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida has returned to what has become a recurring theme with him. Yesterday, he took to the floor of the House to argue to bring American troops home from Syria. In fact, he's been working on anti-war agendas for years, sometimes even in opposition to President Trump. But the vote failed overwhelmingly, which might indicate either inertia or the continued strength of the imperial mindset, or something else going on. Before I break down what support Gaetz had and why his resolution failed anyway, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, including especially this t-shirt that I've chosen for today, which reads, 1984 was not an instruction manual. Only I am not talking about official censorship this time. I'm talking about the endless states of war that would break out among the three great powers of George Orwell's fictional universe: Oceania, Eurasia, and Eastasia, wherever that might have been. You'll all remember Winston Smith at the Ministry of Truth saying to himself, "We have always been at war with Eastasia." Hold that thought, because I'm going to come back to that at the very end of this video. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, as long as it's legal tender. Now, first, some recent history. Matt Gaetz introduced his War Powers Resolution, now known as House Concurrent Resolution number 21, on February 17th. It would set simple terms: withdraw American troops from Syria by a date certain. At first, he proposed to bring the troops out in 15 days, practically forthwith in military terms. But he knew he couldn't get that, so the current resolution has set a deadline of 180 days. He was really trying to win passage of it. Representative Jamal Bowman of New York introduced a similar resolution in January. This issue cuts across party lines, though in the past, most Democrats wanted out of Syria while most Republicans have wanted to stay in. America is in Syria because Barack Obama put us there, ostensibly to fight against the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or ISIS. But the general consensus to that is that President Donald Trump rendered ISIS ineffective during his term, so why stay? This time, Matt Gaetz put together a formidable coalition to speak in favor of his resolution. His Republican allies read like the House MAGA chorus and include Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, Andy Biggs of Arizona, and Paulina Luna, also from Florida. And according to the Daily Caller and the Intercept, he had significant Democratic support, including the Congressional Progressive Caucus. The Intercept reported also that Robert Ford, who had been Obama's ambassador to Syria, recently declared for bringing the troops home. I have a link in the description to a tweet by an influencer named Ryan Grimm, who embedded a letter that Ambassador Ford sent to several members of the House, saying it's time to withdraw from Syria. On the conservative side, Freedom Works, Concerned Women for America, Citizens for Renewing America have also expressed support for this resolution. War Powers resolutions are privileged according to the House rules. So the House must vote on them within 18 days of their introduction. Yesterday was that day. Matt Gaetz spoke extensively to defend his resolution, of course. Several of his colleagues took the floor after him. I have links in the description to 11 tweets, each from an individual or organization who expressed his or their support either yesterday or the day before. Here's Matt Gaetz on March 7th. Quote, Obama got us into a civil war with Syria. President Trump did everything to get us out of Syria. The deep state is doing everything to keep us in Syria. My war powers resolution puts America first and brings our troops home. Close quote. Next, Freedom Works and the Columbia Bugle, both urging people to call their representatives to tell them to vote yes. The Daily Caller left a link to their article. If you click through, you'll find the Daily Caller also has a link to the piece by The Intercept. Florida Voice News, in addition to sharing their article, shared this quote from Gaetz. 900 Americans were sent to this HE-double hockeyscape with no definition of victory, with no clear objectives, and purely existing as a vestige to the regime change, failed foreign policies of multiple former presidents. Close quote. Next, I have a tweet on Gaetz' own account saying that. And then another tweet where he says, quote, there is no role for the United States of America in Syria. We are not a Middle Eastern power. We have tried to build a democracy out of sand, blood, and Arab militias. Time and again, the work we do does not reduce chaos, and oftentimes it causes chaos. The very chaos that causes terrorism. Close quote. Now, here's Andy Biggs, quote, there is no legal authority to place American servicemen and women there. We cannot engage in another endless war with no clear objectives, unquote, Biggs. Marjorie Taylor Greene, no one in my district is asking for our military to fight another country's war in Syria. Well said. And Napoleon Luna, as far as I know, members of Congress don't swear an oath to the people of Syria, Ukraine, or anywhere else. We swear an oath to the people of the United States. Spot on, sister. And finally, Matt Gaetz, wrapping up. America first means actually putting the people of the country first, not the interest of the military-industrial complex. That's truer than he might know. Unfortunately, despite this impressive lineup, the resolution went down to defeat anyway. Before I break down the tally, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. You feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. Fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. So visit oursilverlines.com and learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now, the final tally for this resolution, 103 in favor, 321 against, and 11 not voting. In short, the resolution failed by a margin of roughly 3-1. Republicans and Democrats voted for or against the resolution in almost equal proportions to that. Now that represents a significant change from the vote on Representative Bowman's amendment. I have a link to a tweet by an outfit calling itself Just Foreign Policy giving those results. 155 yes, 273 no, and only 3 not voting. And at the time, most Democrats voted yes and most Republicans voted no. This time, with Matt Gaetz' resolution, significantly more Democrats voted against Trump withdrawal than the time before, this time than last. But a few more Republicans voted for it this time. So what do we have? Matt Gaetz' resolution might have failed for one of three reasons. First, Matt Gaetz did not spend enough time drumming up support before introducing a privilege resolution for such a quick vote. Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota made that specific complaint. She said, quote, "I wish Gaetz had worked more closely with the coalition of groups that have been working on this and the CPC. Nonetheless, I'm a yes on the resolution," unquote, Ilhan Omar. Hey, broken clocks and all that. Second, some Democrats would never vote for a war powers resolution with Republican authorship. Partisanship, by this theory, supersedes even the merits of a bill or resolution. Now, at least that wasn't a universal rule. That resolution did get slightly more Democratic support in relation to their numbers in the House than Republican support. But remember, last time a Democrat proposed it and Democrats supported in a clear majority. Just not enough. Know what I mean? Third, the imperial mindset is still strong, even among Democrats. By this theory, it is strengthened among Democrats and weakened among Republicans, if slightly. Or has it? For we must add a fourth reason that Matt Gaetz will not or cannot mention: bribery. Every member of Congress in each chamber is vulnerable to bribery for a simple reason. The caucus dues system. Both party conferences or caucuses collect caucus dues to finance re-election campaigns. Problem is, caucus dues amount to a member's annual salary, so members must look to lobbyists to replenish their salary. And no lobby spends more than the defense industry. That fact drives the endless war that all presidents and except one have waged in modern times. So that exceptional president is Donald Trump. So if the people want relief from endless war, only a president can bring it. This, even more than partisanship, explains why Congress would have voted to certify Joe Biden as president no matter what motions anyone allowed. President Biden has continued to wage endless war. In fact, Biden's old boss Barack Obama got Americans into the Syrian theater. And that is why that's what most people in Congress want, because it literally pays their personal bills. After they have to fork over their entire annual salary as caucus dues. Wow, what a racket. So Matt Gaetz, whether he recognizes it or not, has exposed a central flaw in our constitutional system. Many of the speakers on Gaetz' side pointed out that many of their constituents oppose the endless war paradigm. I doubt that any district in the House has a majority of ordinary citizens who derive any thrill, vicarious or otherwise, from being part of a world empire. Why, that would be like, well, I'll tell you, like the young women's dance troupe that came often to Yale University while I was studying there, from no other place than Fidel Castro's Cuba. Now, we don't have that kind of cheering section. And certainly not since the heyday of the Soviet Union has anyone actively campaigned on an American imperial platform. But elections are won or lost on campaign funding. And that case will continue until Americans get wise to themselves and compare notes. Until Americans can and will do this, we will always have war with East Asia. Links in the description of the article to Ryan Grimm's tweet indicating the support of the resolution by Ambassador Ford, to those 11 tweets carrying announcements and speeches in support, to Just Foreign Policy's tweet about the Bowman Amendment, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome online store and to oursilverlives.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to my Florida politics playlist and at least 2 other videos, if I can find them, showing that Matt Gaetz does look like a genuine anti-war champion. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.